I love color. I love it. My name is Nadia Tolstoy. I'm an interior architect here at Tengbom. And Tengbom is an architectural company. It's one of the oldest architectural firms in the world, actually. I think I would have struggled to answer this question if I hadn't actually also worked in the States. They didn't use a unified color system, so you had to specify country pine or peach blossom, which was, for me, very different to how I work in Sweden. So the advantage of working with the NCS system is this idea that you can specify an NCS number and then everybody knows what you're referring to. And it's always easier to communicate when you have a common language. So it's incredibly useful. And I realized how useful it was when I didn't have the option to use the NCS system. The NCS system generally always plays a key role in all of our interior design projects. I can't even think of a project where we didn't at some point have a specified color that we didn't use the NCS system for reference somehow. It is completely part of every project that we do. Working with the NCS system always makes it easier to communicate with our clients. And a lot of the time, that's how a project even starts. For us, it is quite often that we start off with a mood board and a vibe, but also a color palette. And then it's really useful to go from an abstract idea of a color palette that you see in maybe materials like textiles and even natural materials like stone and wood, and then translating that into an NCS code, because that really pins the color down. It's not a general kind of green, it's this specific green. And then that's when it gets really interesting, because then you really define that color. Is it a light green? Is it warm? Is it cold? Which is really a fantastic way of working. And with the NCS system, it's so much more precise. Our clients would be hugely disappointed if we specify the pale green that I was imagining before, and it turns out gray or yellow, and it's not consistent, and it doesn't come out the way the sample looks. So consistency in color is hugely important, because the client, they invest in an interior design that it needs to be accurate. We work digitally with our clients' graphic profiles, so we don't use digital colors ourselves so much, but we always need to translate our corporate clients' digital graphic profile into NCS, and then we use the NCS Plus tools even to make boards and things, but also for this translation of going from hex, for instance, to NCS, which is incredibly useful for us. The product that we use the most is the albums. I say albums because we have more than one set of them. And it's incredibly useful. We almost always start a project with the album and looking for the colors that we need, and we pick out the little samples and compare, and there are these little squares of color everywhere in the office. So it's the go-to that we use. But sometimes we also use the atlas if the little pocket in the album is emptied, because some basic colors like some beautiful grays or pale greens are missing. Then we go to the atlas, and because the colors are stuck down. So the album is my absolute favorite. I wish I could have one at home as well. Obviously it's light, as in also to me, I've been working as an interior architect for such a long time that I've once in a while come across those moments where you're like, surely this is not the same NCS code in this light as in this light. Surely these are two different colors. And then you look at them and it's the same NCS code, which is also really useful when you have NCS, because then you can take your little sample and you can move it from this light to this light, or you can move it from wall to ceiling, and it really changes. So to me, in that sense, color is light, and it's really important for me to remember that color doesn't exist ever in a vacuum. It's always in a context, but it's also this magical tool to create experience and vibe. So it's not so expensive to put color on walls and ceilings, and yet you can do so much with it. So to me, it's a little bit magic. I'd say if the color is right, clients don't shy away from it. We never do, because we're interior architects, so we love color. But I'd say it's just a matter of finding the right place and the right color for the client. This one. So it's 1502Y20R. And it's a kind of grey that is neither cool nor very warm. It's a little bit warm. I'd say it's on the warm side.